I bow to all the seekers of truth. At the very outset, we have to know that truth is what it is. The absolute truth cannot be changed, cannot be conceptualized. Above all, unfortunately, at this human awareness, we cannot feel it and we cannot understand it. Now, whatever I'm going to tell you about yourself, you have to take a scientific attitude and keep an open mind. If it is proved, then you have to accept as honesty. Because this is for your benevolence, your emancipation, for the emancipation of the whole world. We have science, all faculties of sciences, but all these human endeavors have boomerangs in the way we have produced hydrogen bomb, oxygen bomb, atomic bomb on one side, and on the other side, things which are dangerous for us. So where did we go wrong? Why should it happen to us? Because the mental process is linear. It moves in one line, and after some time it gives way and turns down. So it has to be something beyond that mental process that should give us the wisdom and the balance. And that's how we have today so many people who are seeking the truth honestly. Of course, some are identified with some dogmas or something and want to carry on like that. That's a different one. But there are some people who are intelligent enough to see that there's something wrong. We have to find out what's wrong. And if you see all our problems like ecological problems, political problems, economic problems, family problems, and all types of problems, which can be very secret also. Physical, in the sense, sickness. Why these problems are there when human beings are at the epitome of evolution? Is it that our evolution is finished, or still we have to go one step forward? If somehow we can transform human beings into a higher state of spirit, as all scriptures have said, all the scriptures have said, you have to be the spirit. Then maybe some solution could be found. And it has worked out in many countries now that there is a power within you which passes through 6 centers and gives you what we call as self-light. Can't hear me, can you? All of you can hear me? Now, the truth is that you are not this body, mind, your ego, your conditionings, intelligence, emotions, but you are the spirit. That's the truth. And that's what we are seeking, knowingly or unknowingly. The another truth is that there is an all-pervading power around us, which does all the living work. I call it the all-pervading power of God's love. This living the work we've done, we see it every day. We see these beautiful flowers here. But we accept them. Take it for granted. We never even think how these beautiful flowers are grown, how the trees are grown up to a certain height and no more, how they are kept in control completely. Look at our eye also. Look at our brain, which is such a great computer. The eye is such a great camera. We take everything for granted. But is it that there is some power which is working it out? Our evolution from amoeba to this state. By law of chance, you could not have achieved even the state of a reptile. So how did in such a short time you have been able to achieve the state of human beings? If you start introspecting it, then you will understand that something we have not yet known, which we have. And that knowledge is possible because the whole ocean of knowledge is within yourself. Only thing, a very part of your brain is exposed, which has no connection with your heart and has no connection with your attention. Now, so we turn to religion. Many people are becoming now fundamentalists. It can be Islam fundamentalism, it can be Christian fundamentalism or Hindu fundamentalism. All these isms are coming. Because they are mentally trying to sort out. But you take any Muslim, take any Hindu, Christian, Buddhist, anyone, they are capable of committing any sin. See, Azerbaijan people are big, 1,000. Why Christians? Can you imagine? Christians following Christ. Not only they have done lots of things, much more, much worse. Then there are Islam, they have killed so many people. There are Hindus who believe that everybody has the spirit within themselves, but they have caste system. They can commit any sin, whatever brand they may carry. So there is no truthful about it. They are just adhering to something because perhaps they are born in it or they have taken to it mentally. It's all mental. And all these mental ideas can drop off in no time. We have not been able to absorb these beautiful religions which were created. There's nothing wrong with the prophets, nothing wrong with the incarnations, and nothing wrong with these religions which were primordially created. Of course, some people have meddled with them, with the books also. But nobody has absorbed it. It has not become an innate part of your being. So what has gone wrong with us is this simple, that we haven't got that power to absorb it. We are still human beings, and still our spiritual power has not, which has not. Now this is a mechanism within you which works out the last connection. Like this instrument is here, it's all built in, but it has to be connected. Unless and until you are connected to the mains, you have no meaning. Young people especially find it very difficult to find their identity. So they stick on to this or to that, sometimes fundamentalists, sometimes to some sort of a group, something. But it is only because they want to belong to something. That's human nature. But to belong to reality and to truth is the best way to be an universal personality. Because spiritual is the universal being within us. Now Sahaja has been working in about 62 countries, I must say, I'm surprised at it. And there are 50 countries, at least, or 51 countries who have lots of centers working it. I was surprised at Russia. I never expected that they would be so sensitive to reality. Russians, whatever their governments were, whatever they did to them, one thing for definite, they are extremely sensitive to spirituality. Extreme. Of course, I knew one thing. If you read Tolstoy, or if you have read Crime and Punishment, or any one of these books written by the Russians, you'll find they are very introspective. Even a hero, if he falls in love with somebody, he introspects. Why? That quality of introspection is so great that even the scientists, 200 scientists are in the conference with me. And when I started talking about science, they said, "There are no more science, we want to know about spirituality." I was amazed. In one place called Karyati, you'll be amazed to know, there are 21,000 surgeons practicing surgery. In one place, it's an industrial town, started by one gentleman called Karyati, who revolted against Italy and went down and settled there, and started a company for motorcars. They are not bothered as to what they are happening in the country or what is it. They say we have sufficient food to eat, it's just people are talking so much. They are very, very deep. They are somehow or other, I think, one day will be one of the most powerful people in the whole world. And extremely humble. Extremely humble. It is surprising how they have developed this humility in that country. Because even the media there, they came and saw me. If you read what they are doing, it's very surprising, the way they have discovered things about sadhu. Apart from that, they said, "Mother, we are so poor in spirituality. How can we come up to that?" Imagine. Also, I must say, this embassy in India, Russian embassy, wants to honor me for what work I have done. Many people were cured just by surgery. I didn't do anything by this, telling me anything. In a big crowd of 16 to 18,000 people got cured. Just like that. And they came and said, "Mother, our sins are forgiven." I said, "Why do you say like that?" "Because we are cured." Now there are 3 doctors in Delhi who have got their MD, they did their MBBS, MD in surgery. 3 doctors. I mean, it's authentic. One of them is called now in America. It's not some hocus pocus of fraud. After all, why should I do fraud? I don't take any money from you. I don't need any. Why should people do fraud in surgery? What is the need to do? So, the attention of young people should be at this revolution. When we were ruled by British, it was the young people who fought it and got back their independence. And if you really want to be really free, in the real sense of the word, where you can rule yourself nicely also, you are in charge of yourself, then the best thing is to join the revolution which is silent, which is inner revolution, which is now the last step, I would say, in the evolutionary process. It works. It has worked for so many years. We have some doctors, some very well educated, to a professor for the surgery. There are so many people who are surgeons, they are all sensible people. And they have achieved their dignity. That is, you are the spirit, you have dignity, you are glorious. You have to see your beauty. You have never felt it, which you have to feel and understand. Just by reading some books or doing something here and there, it's not going to work. It's a happening. It's a becoming that's important because it is a living process. Like this Mother Earth, you have to sow a seed and it spontaneously grows. In the same way, it's a living process for which you cannot pay. Mother Earth doesn't understand. It just grows spontaneously within you and gives you your self-realization. It works marvelously and miraculously. But it's important for you to have an open mind. Don't adhere to any fundamentalism and try tricks with yourself and play games. Try to open up. After all, it is for your good. I have nothing to take from you, nor nothing to give you. It's your own power which is going to work it out. When it is your own power, then why not do it? Now, there are people saying what following Christianity, Islam, this, that, all kinds of things. And they are worried that some people might shift from Buddhism to Christianity to Buddhism, or to Islam to Hinduism. It's just the same. There is no difference between any one of them. Now, what Buddha has said, that there will be Bodhisattva. That they miss the point. What is Bodhisattva? Very clearly, is where people will be enlightened and that they will contribute their enlightenment to the whole society, to the whole world. That is Bodhisattva. What sufferings you have done is finished. Whatever you have tried is finished. Now, step. That was all the ladder you were crossing. Now you have to step. And come up to the stage where you become a Bodhisattva. Means you are the one who contributes to the society, to your country, to the whole world. We miss the points like this. Every time if it is missed, that's how we find that people go astray. Either they become power-oriented or they become money-oriented. That's why religions are failed. They are not spirit-oriented. One has to be spirit-oriented. That's very important. And all the religions have said the same thing. But sometimes when you look at the people who follow the religion, they are poles apart. So it is this all-pervading power of God's love that brings this truth to us. And you really become a very powerful person. I can't think of any surgery killing any Azerbaijan. Impossible. They are such beautiful, angelic people now. They are just like you all. So beautiful you won't believe. We have seminars in India and people come from all over the country. And such love, such brotherhood, such sisterhood. There is no lust and greed which spoils the society. They are so very beautiful. And they do all this for free. If I do it, it's all right. But they also do all this for free. Everybody wants that all the people should get realized. That's all. That's their desire is because they are enjoying their spirit. They want them also to jump into the ocean of joy. It is important that Sahaja Yoga has to be taken in a very serious manner, but actually it is working when you are pleasantly blessed towards yourself. When I say you are the spirit, then I also say that you are the master. If your spirit is the guiding line, then you become your own master. Because in the light you can see everything. Supposing there is complete darkness, and people are pushed together, there will be stagnant. All this happens because of ignorance. This ignorance has to go. And how will it go unless and until there is the light of the Spirit? It's a very simple thing to understand. And these are the fundamentals of our being. These are the ones, these centers are the energy centers which look after our emotional, physical, mental, spiritual. If they are nourished by this community, very well. Now, as you are students, I'll be able to tell you something about what problems you might face. It's very important that if you understand it, what problems a student can face when he is studying very hard, and it's very important that he should study. But with Sahaja Yoga, these problems won't arise. Now there's a center here, the second center that you see, the yellow one, is the center which has many functions to it. It has to look after your liver, it has to look after your pancreas, it has to look after your spleen, it has to look after your kidneys, and it has to look after the walls. All this has to be done by this one center. But the most important thing for it is to supply energy for the use of brain, because when you are using grey cells, these grey cells get burned out, and to replace them with the energy, you have to have some mechanism in your body, and this is the center that converts the fat cells from the body and brings it to the brain. So you must know that the brain is made of fat. That of course you must be knowing. So this conversion takes place. And when this conversion takes place, you'll be amazed that how much energy you are spending in reading, studying and whatever. With this thing only we have been able, with this principle only we have been able to cure so many diseases. If you apply this disease, you can find out. One of the persons who did work on asthma, one of the doctors, has used the same theory. And it has worked wonders. So many people are cured of asthma. Now, so what is the principle? You must keep an open mind as students. When you come in the university, you have to keep an open mind. But if you are already worked up, it won't go into your head. So please, listen to me. This center, of course, these doctors do not know, of course. I have done medicine myself, they don't know this. But in a subtler way, you can know many things. Now this center you use too much, all the time. After all, you are studying, working very hard, thinking too much. As a result, you might end up a bad liver, a heated liver. The liver's heat is the worst enemy of human beings. Because it absorbs, the liver absorbs all the heat of the body and releases it. That heat comes as a poison into the bloodstream. But supposing this liver is neglected because of the overactivity of this center for thinking people, for futuristic people, studying people also, this heat can start rising higher. As a result of that, this center that you see on the left side of the heart gets heated. And that is the center which looks after your breathing. And that's how one can develop asthma. This heat can even reach your heart and can really engulf the heart so badly that if there is a heart attack in young age, it's always fatal, even the first one. Supposing some people are working very hard as students, also playing very hard, because the right side is affected by too much physical and also by too much mental activity, and plays tennis or some sort of a very fast games, plus studies very hard and puts too much pressure on his right side. Then what happens? Then this heat starts traveling to the heart also on the left side and completely gives you a massive heart attack. And at young age, these heart attacks are always fatal. You cannot save people from this. Very seldom it has happened. Another thing is this heat now travels to your pancreas. As a result, the pancreas goes out of order and people get diabetes. In India, in villages, unless and until you put so much sugar that the spoon has to stand at a perpendicular angle, they don't think it is tea. They drink so much of sugar in the villages, but nobody will stand it. Only the bureaucrats and sedentary people who sit and write and think too much and plan plans which never come true and work on lots of this thinking and read paroles. They are the ones who will diabetes. Or the ones who plans too much. Even a housewife, she's a big planner, she might get that. Then the third disease is even worse because of the spleen. Now spleen is a speedometer in our lives and it has a certain rhythm. Whenever we are in emergency, the spleen liberates or creates a lot of RBCs, means red blood corpuscles, for the use of emergency. But if a person is a hectic time, as our life is very hectic, say early in the morning you get up after the hangover, maybe I don't know how, and then you start just somehow dressing up. Getting into the car, you have not taken your breakfast, so you are carrying breakfast, eating it at the same time. Then you see a jam, then you get again upset. But if you read newspaper, it is even worse. So the whole system is energy of body. Not only that, but it's so hectic, the life is so hectic, that this poor spirit doesn't know how to carry on with this crazy personality, which suddenly starts becoming very emergent. Suddenly it demands more RBCs, so it becomes vulnerable, and then any attack from the left side, you can get blood cancer. You'll be happy to know Sir Yoga has cured many blood cancer patients as well. I'm not saying I have cured, it's your own cookery. And one of the boys have got an MD in that subject. So it is already recognized in India. Because this is an ancient science for me. This is the science of the roots. While you have the science of the whole civilization, but you don't know the roots. We have to know our roots, and if it is coming from India, it doesn't matter. Not only in India, it has been said, even in the Bible, tree of life is mentioned and appear before you like tongues of flames. These centers look like really beautiful, very soothing tongues of flames. We call them as petals in India. So then this heat can travel up to your kidneys. And the coagulation of the kidney takes place. When the coagulation takes place, they put you on the dialysis, but I assure you, nobody can be saved out of it. All your life you are spending money with this dialysis. It's a horrible thing. And after some time, it has to be accepted. Then the worst is the bowels. You get into a funny situation where you might get a bilious temper, where all the time you feel nauseating, you can't eat food, and you vomit out some bile all the time, or your attention is never happy. Then the last one is constipation because of the heat. All these things are because of one center. So it is very important that we should understand about our being inside and get into balance, and must know how to get it cured and how to work it out. It's all our knowledge and it is our body, and we can do it without going through that MBBS course which takes you out of life. It's very simple to keep yourself alive. But with this you develop a new awareness which we call as collective consciousness. And this collective consciousness gives you the complete indication of your centers because of selfhood and self-knowledge on your fingertips. So these are 5, 6 and 7 on the left side, 5, 6 and 7 on the right side. This is 1, 5 and 7. And you can feel it. Of course, in the medical science they do say that the sympathetic nervous endings are at the end of the fingers. That's they say. But you can feel it. Even children, if they dry their eyes with some sort of a ask them, what's wrong with each other? They'll raise the same thing, or maybe there are two figures. And you ask that gentleman, because it is decoded, are you suffering from this disease? Yes, but how do you know? The children have told us. So you can diagnose yourself. People become mad without knowing that they are becoming mad. People develop cancer without knowing that they are developing cancer. All kinds of things happen to you without knowing what is wrong with you. But with this, you immediately know what is wrong with you and you can correct yourself. You can correct yourself. And with this corrected consciousness, you can feel the centers of others also. But you have to reach a certain state, which we call as doubtless awareness, as Nirmala Samadhi has said in Sanskrit. Once you reach that state, in that state, you can feel anybody's centers. I mean, most of the surgeons who are here are quite difficult. The other day, we had one gentleman who came from some newspaper. It was so hot, they were just burning their hands. They were very frantic about it. I was also feeling the heat, but what to do with this gentleman? How to tell him frankly, they are so hot. It was like a cancer patient hot, actually. It's terribly hot. Must be very hot tempered also. But we didn't know how to tell him that he is after all newspaper man and his media, you know, how powerful they are. They can tell anything. They can lie, they have no fear. So we were trying to work it out, but all our hands were burning, especially of the boys who were working on them, their hands were burning. They were giving me signals, mother, it's too much. I said, all right. I just tried to pacify. So, you can know about the other person, his centers, and you can work it out. Sitting down here, your attention is so enlightened that you can know about anyone what are the centers he is. Even if somebody is dead, you can find out. You can find out if somebody was a realized soul or not. You can find out if this person was a man who came to preach the falsehood or reality. Whether he is a devil or a satan, it's very easy to make it out. You don't have to find out from his biodata. You just get it on your hands and you know the person. And that's how you can really help the whole world. So, in Sahaja Yoga, because we believe in all the religions, on the principles, every fundamental mentalist has to be against us. Because they are sticking on one thing. It's natural and we accept it because of ignorance. They don't know that all the saints and prophets came on the tree of life at different times, and according to the time, it's called a Sahaja, they solved the problems and did whatever was necessary and gave their wisdom to the whole world. They are like the flowers on the same tree of life. And everybody plucked them, this is my flower, fine. But in a sense they are all expressing the same divine love and the But when we have these ideas, we think we are the chosen ones. This is all a misunderstanding. First you must get your realization and work it out, and I am sure you will know what lies within yourself is beauty, is glory. So I would say, may God bless you and you have wisdom. And I hope you'll come to our programs. They have very nice program now, and they will tell you all about it. Everything is, it's not like this TM business that one introduction is free and the rest is all lynched. All horrible people in there doing horrible mantras which has no meaning at all. I'm taking 300 pounds and then 6,000 pounds for flying. What is the need to fly in the air? I don't understand. Halfway about 3 feet you want to fly, and they are making 6,000 and nobody has known except for breaking their bottoms. All these kind of stupid things are going on. And people are taking it. Surprised because they know how to advertise and a big way, have a bad show or something like that. But reality doesn't require. But you have to be worthy of reality. You have to be worthy and honest about it. If you are not honest, you cannot help it. Nobody can help. If you want to cheat yourself, how can anybody help? So may God bless you. I'm very happy to see you all here, many young people. And many of your problems, you can discuss with surgeons here and you can always write to me. I'm always targeted. And if you write to me, I'll be very happy to answer those. Thank you.